when I did my rankings. They're not like amazing. They can't consistently beat the tier 1 teams, but they definitely take a game here and there, although a lot of it is on the back of Naga Siren, who is met with a lot of... does that mean you're good or you're bad? With a lot with Naga.
That's the criticism OG gets, where it's like, oh, they can only win with these illusion here. It's like, well, no, that's just what they went to, and then in the finals happened to lose to like IG, who are like playing some of their best Dota. And I think I'm with Ben. Like Liquid, I had very high up. A lot of people look at Liquid and just see their most recent tournament, DAC, where they got last place. So it's like, well, they got last place at DAC. They lost in the best of ones, but that's just it. They lost the best of one against Faceless, a very kind of hot and cold team. So I think Liquid still, if you look at the big picture of their last 2 to 3 months, they've been very good.
Yeah.
Surprise picks coming out. It's one of those things where, having not seen Thunderbirds, they may have just been scrimming and trying different heroes, which they found have worked really well for them. Beastmaster perhaps being one of those. Liquid very much more the meta. You know, the standard Monkey King, get your full position. We're seeing a lot more support openings, at least from the Chinese side. Liquid kind of doing the same thing, where you pick your 4, and you pick like a support with an offlane, or even pick both support.
Is Beastmaster a good counter to Monkey King?
Yeah. Monkey King generally is not very good versus physical damage heroes like the Burst and the
Vision as well.
Right, and Vision. So Beastmaster, he can also cut down the trees with his axes. So very multi-purpose counter towards and Weeha and even Eternal Envy, who are part of that team. So maybe there's kind of like a throwback, some old strategies being brought back.
I mean, of the matches they've played since 7.0, which isn't a huge amount, it has to be said, it's Misery's second highest pick, Beastmaster. So very comfortable for him.
Warlock. So a very strong team fighting hero. We've seen a lot of pretty good counter to the Beastmaster. In the lane, he is decent, but later on you got this big ultimate you can do
as well.
Yeah, they like the dual roles in the heroes too. Like they could put Beastmasters, I think, is a better matchup.
Right.
Like if it's versus,
try to
like,
go for some debate there.
Dude, Misery does that all the time.
Yeah, like that's Misery's favorite move, right? The debate.
Against Monkey King, though, would you...
About being sacked, just he has a potential to jungle, right?
Yeah.
But they do, I guess they're going to be relying on the Monkey King, the Boundless Strike is their initiative.
Да, и правильно все у них получилось, очень хорошо нам показывает Куро. Liquid тоже есть что доказывать. Их выступление на Даке...
Не повезло. Откровенно говоря, не повезло.
Не повезло. Взяли Нагу в Best of 1 для Джаша. Не повезло. Я называю это обычно не так, ну ладно. Назовем это не повезло. Вот он Miracle.
Ну, подожди, ладно, давай скажем так. У них была очень сложная группа. Начнем с этого играть. Все драки они перевернули в замесах. Все драки они были перевернуты на Рошане. И мы видели то, что в драке 5 на 5 они просто не оставляли шанса.
Так, Куро...
It wasn't like, wow, Liquid's teamwork is exceptional this game. It was just a lot of small individual performances, whereas this time, you know, they actually came together and did stuff together. They they fought together.
Made the point that they were allergic to five-manning at DAC, and here, this was much more cohesive.
Yeah, when you have this much individual skill on your team, your problem is going to be teamwork. So
Utilize that Axe Scepter, but a hero you hardly expect to see picked at all this major, and coming out in the first stage at that.
Reza was actually talking. I think they might be asking him if he wants Naga first phase.
Yeah, Naga's a pretty decent hero versus the Monkey and the Night Stalker, for sure. It's a very good combo together as well. One thing I realized is like, Kato sort of like fell out as a top tier pick, but the Thunderbirds had first pick and they decided not to go for the Monkey themselves. So what can this tell us? Maybe Misery doesn't really like the hero to play for himself.
We also saw a lot of Coddle used as a kind of offensive counter to Monkey King at DAC as well because of the vision, but it
we got the blinding light as well.
Maybe, so maybe he thinks we'll pick it first. That stops them picking the Monkey King, but actually they go.
He's going to be low mana because his spells cost quite a bit, especially with the nerfs now. And Night Stalker can also benefit from that. So Crystal Maiden, that makes heroes faster, be able to play faster because they have more spells to use. And Team Liquid's heroes were already pretty fast. Now they're even faster than that.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about Liquid is when we talk about adjusting and finding their identity since DAC, it feels like there's been a clear change where now it's GH is playing like 5 position. He was playing always.
No point to change anything more. Maybe even Misery was a little bit tilted still after the first game. We saw in his play like he was dying in very random spots that he normally wouldn't.
The early part of game 2.
Right, early part of game 2. But now like he's also like pretty good chance, you know, knowing his Thunderburst, they got the debate ability to put it into the safe end, or maybe even a support.
Support,
Yeah, you don't even know if it's offlane or a carry. It could be a support.
Yeah.
So we're going to get Miracle Invoker, which we weren't allowed to watch at DAC.
Scrim them and played versus them, so
Right.
they seem to know something we don't.
Like these-
Thunderbirds were boot camping in Europe as well.
Right,
so.
and these teams, they didn't know the groups or anything like that till, you know, a day
Yep.
ago or 2 days ago.
Yep.
So they wouldn't have known they would play Thunderbirds early on. So
Yep.
it's very likely that they played against each other for sure.
So ban's done. Second phase picks.
Yeah.
On the back of a Rubik and a Nature's Prophet, we're going to get a puck. Also something the players have been talking an awful lot about in the last few days about being very strong.
So you have Nature's Prophet, right? Let's say he's an offlaner. He's already not a team fight controlling offlaner. He's more of this like farm. I've seen games where like Monkey King goes aggro Charlin versus a Drow, and this Drow just goes like 0-6 right away. So.
Yeah.
Crystal Maiden again, the same combo, CM Monkey. We've seen a lot of this in DAC, and we saw it last game as well.
Played a lot of him since 7 as well. It's his most picked hero.
Sprout into hook. We've got telekinesis as well.
Most of the times they ran the Pudge, though, was either with Ember or with Alchemist, though. Those were the two main heroes that they combo it with. But this game,
Does anyone else?
Why
yeah, I was
Pudge?
going to say, do they play it?
Alchemist, huh?
they used to run a lot. They would just use it as a save.
Is
for
there a
the Alchemist.
specific? Oh, okay.
Holy
Who's playing the Naga? Is it Matu? Is it GH?
Well,
it'll be
Matildaman does
GH.
play the Naga though.
Yeah, his is pretty
He
good.
has played it.
It'll be GH, surely.
I don't think.
Another combo. I think they're not lacking on that.
Yeah.
What they are probably lacking on is like another ability to lock a hero down and win a lane. Like they just want something for the Invoker Sunstrikes, pretty much. Okay, so Shaker, that's pretty good. It's gonna be completely fine for him.
Install towers for Naga.
Or maybe he might even pull the camp into the lane. They are playing Radiant. It's not very hard to pull the camp into the lane.
Rolling into Spectre to try to get their heroes better matchups.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the heroes so far, do you think we're going to go for, you know, mid-game team fights and early push, or is this just going to be Spectre farms and
Just wait till the rocks dropped and then use the song. They have the song to reset the duel as well, but they'll definitely look to a team fight with their ultimates because they want to take these fights. DC, they also, it's just a matter of who gets the initiation first. Spectre can haunt to kind of set up these team fights so Legion